Hello and welcome to Please. Won't you shut up?
Probably not, but we'll try.
God, no.
Or as I like to call it, Haud Yer Wheesht.
Haud Yer
Haud Yer Wheesht. Or whatever. I'm Michaela Gorman.
Oh, I'm Blake Hunsley. Hi.
And I'm Brent Robertson.
And today is about Star Trek.
Star Trek Day.
Star Trek Day.
There is a Federation Day, but I don't ever remember when it is.
No, it's not nearly as memorable as May the 4th.
No, but there's also a First Contact Day. And
Oh, yes.
People celebrate in Bozeman, Montana, as they should.
Yeah, I also forget that day, but yeah, very important day, of course.
Should we just open this with how Star Trek is so much better than Star Wars and get it out of the way?
Yeah, we might as well, especially since
Star Wars
is
is
starting to get weird.
momentary, and it's a very. It's a 6-part series. It's not a
Star Wars
lifetime.
is fantasy. It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And
Star Trek
have to
gives
fill
us
in the
something to
blanks.
aim for. It's
And that's
parts of it do not, but a lot of it is something to aim for.
Yeah, and well, you say you don't have to fill in the blanks, but the funny thing is that's what Disney is kind of doing now. Is so the new Solo film that's coming out, that is young Han Solo, is based entirely on a line that he said when you're first introduced to him, where he's like, "I made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs." And that's what the whole film is about. They're going to the original dialogue of the film and being like,
Just parsing it for ideas.
yeah, and that's what the last one I'm trying to remember is Rebel One was about.
This is the thing, and I'm not going to critique that kind of approach because I think parsing dialogue in Star Trek to make movies and shows is super fun.
Yeah.
And novels, which we'll get to as well, super fun. Because it still fleshes out a universe we are trying to, possibly hope for. One where we are generally at peace with each other on our planet and have expanded into the galaxy and are trying to do our best.
Yeah.
Star Wars offers none of that. It offers escapism, but it doesn't offer escapism that leaves you feeling at the end like you have something that you might think might be an idea worth trying to live your life towards.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's a snapshot. It's not a storyline.
Yeah, and because of the inclusion of the Force, ultimately, even if you try to live your life to some ideal, you don't have the Force. You
Yeah, you're
can't
not
be
magical.
a Jedi.
You're not Harry Potter.
Yeah, whereas you can be a good person.
Anyone can be anyone Star Trek, essentially, except for Ben Sisko, but that's allowed because you get one. And they were aliens, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So you could be.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you can be someone. You can
Unless
act
you're
like
gay,
someone.
but,
yeah,
well. But that's fine
well,
now.
no, that's fine now.
Yep.
As long as you don't mind your neck snapped.
You'll die, but, that's what happens. Kill your gays.
Or maybe.
But it's okay because Glad said it wasn't a kill your gays moment.
Yeah, no, it
Despite
doesn't count
killing
because
your
it
gays.
counts. It totally counts.
God damn it. Oh,
Or
Glad.
Lieutenant Hawk. Oh wait, he died too.
He wasn't even gay. He didn't have any...
It was in the script.
Well, I thought about it after seeing the movie, but aside from that...
The funny thing is, in the production notes, they mentioned that's why they hired. I can't remember the actor's name, but he has those bright blue eyes. And
Oh,
they
he's
said,
gorgeous.
Those are gay eyes. Make him the gay character.
That's amazing. He does have gay eyes. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but I will reference that he was in Minority Report as well to give him at least some IMDb searchability. But
He plays.
Wasn't he also in the Dollhouse?
no,
Or
him?
was it the other?
I don't know. I don't think so.
There's a side character in Dollhouse that shows up in a lot of things.
No, I don't think it was him because he doesn't show up in a ton. He just shows up as bright blue eyes and is apparently gay. But they don't ever reference it in dialogue or any, plot point or actions. Or
He does appear frequently in the Berlanti
He's
verse
subtle.
of Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow as a villain.
Oh, I
Damien
feel
Darhk.
like I might have seen him in Arrow, maybe.
Yeah, he plays like a magical villain.
Okay, I don't remember that. Yeah, I'm glad this is a Star Trek episode, not an Arrow.
He's in
episode.
Trek. Aside from that,
I tangented. I know
the
it's the cardinal sin of this
The
show.
primary problem with Star Trek, aside from
Tangents.
they keep moving the future forward, so stuff doesn't look like it used to no more. So I
People
don't like
who
it.
read production values as something related
Yeah.
to canon need to shut up and understand that they live in a reality where, of course, production values change. Use your imagination, for God's sake. Stop enjoying the original series if you must. I don't really enjoy it except for the Edith Keeler episode. Is that
Yeah.
right?
But like
That's
style
great. City on the Edge of
changes.
Forever.
You know what? go to a time frame and time travel to a point that makes no sense to everyone and have two generations meet again.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that is always doable. Because in the universe of Star Trek, there is no end. There is no end to it because you're always exploring.
Well, that's what's fun in terms of production values. Is realistically, it could be any universe that evolves at that pace. That's what their technology looks like, and you're taking issue with that, but you're fine with everything Star Wars being a long time ago, but in a faraway place. Nope.
It's
Use
like
your goddamn
stylistically
imagination.
going to the subways of Moscow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that is an entirely different time frame and realm that does not exist anymore, but
It's
it's
also
present.
unexpected.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, like, it could be very positive or very negative. You never know.
Stylism aside, though, I really think, like, the not necessarily utopian message, because I like Star Trek better when it's not utopian.
Yeah, when things are falling apart, it's at least more interesting. You like the basic idea, but the basic idea, unfortunately, doesn't lend itself to story structure.
No, but everybody wants to see humanity strive to better itself and unify while facing adversity, because we're like, that's really the only time we do unify and show our strength is when we're facing adversity.
We don't suck at that point.
No, yeah, it's the sad fact we all recognize about ourselves.
And it's hard to accomplish when you already are like, oh, so Earth is paradise. Resources? That's not a concept.
Mm.
Here, have this little thing that creates everything you will ever need.
Either fight some aliens or go to a far corner of the galaxy.
Yeah.
I
Figure it
looked
out.
up
That's why you need the board.
deuterium
Yes.
this week.
Deuterium's real?
Deuterium
Is that a thing?
is real.
Really?
I'm looking this up. This was crazy, but you
It
looked
was on
this up the other day.
Wikipedia, and it had, like,
I know that
bunch of,
dilithium
like,
isn't, unfortunately.
decently referenced things.
Nice.
I think you were right. I think
It
deuterium
was like
is.
it's like a subname of hydrogen, or like a heavy hydrogen, or like they used it 15 times in the show, and I went and I looked up and I learned something.
Yeah, we were watching a Voyager episode, The Void.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and there was no deuterium in this void they were trapped in, and so Brent kept literally, it was every 5 seconds on the screen, like, deuterium. Have you tried scanning for deuterium? Tuvok, are you made of deuterium? Well, no, you down for deuterium? Like, yeah, and deuterium, here we go. Yeah, deuterium is a thing. Deuterium, or hydrogen-2, also known as heavy hydrogen,
Thank
blah,
you.
blah, blah. Yeah, you said this the other day. It's true. It's present in the oceans in natural abundance.
Yep. Well then.
Yeah, deuterium's a thing. Except in the void. Then you can't have it.
Well, you want to know about things that are things but seem amazing to be things. Have you ever heard of the Akubear Drive?
No.
Oh my god, the Akubear Drive is a thing that gives me such incredible hope for existence. And that's how incredible this machine is. It's a theoretical engine that they've built in small scale at NASA, and there's one person who is working the project, and his job is quite simply to distort reality. That is what he has been ordered to do. He has been ordered to build a warp field generator, and it's called the Akubear Drive. And it works in the exact same principle as Star Trek.
Oh my
It
God,
makes
that's all I
a
want.
bubble inside reality and then moves space so that you
It's
don't...
more fold.
Yeah, you don't...
And
Well, no,
and
it's not folded.
push.
It's warped because you're pushing reality in front of you, behind you. In the exact same way that a warp field works.
Oh, I want this to be
Star
a
Trek was
thing.
right.
That's all I want.
That's how
all I
how
want.
you do it in physics.
No board,
You
please.
have
Still
no
gays,
inertia,
please. But yeah.
so that you don't have any. You don't interact with E equals MC squared in relativity whatsoever. It's not even a problem. You can go faster than
So
light.
what you're telling me
But how realistic is this thing?
Incredibly, it apparently uses or essentially all you need is a fission reactor. And that's not outside of the realm of possibility.
No. Okay. No, I'm down with this.
But what,
Yeah,
what
I
is
really
the,
want this to be a thing.
what
Yeah.
is the realistic or like implementable reality of that? Like, what is the distance that would take you, and where does that get us?
Theoretically, okay, so the calculations...
Like Mars?
I believe Oh Jesus!
Oh no, like
no.
this would be extra solar system.
We're talking
expensive energy.
But I'm talking
to
how much
return
time,
of
like
being able to get back and
no, because the expensive energy isn't what you're thinking of, because it's not having to travel through anything. The warp field
but there's
itself.
an input to break the barrier, like the sound barrier in planes.
You're not breaking any
it's a
kind of
different thing.
Yeah, you're not thinking of it because that's a kinetic force, and it's not a kinetic force whatsoever. It's an energy field, and an energy field isn't like an energy field within of a warp bubble within space time itself. How to explain
do you remember the first episode of Deep Space Nine where they moved the station towards the wormhole really fast because they put a warp bubble around it so there was no friction in the universe against it, essentially? So it didn't take any energy to move it whatsoever. It was just like, kapew, there's no friction against you. Wham, over to the wormhole.
Yeah, without the
like
inertia, you're essentially just shoving something through space with no energy.
Yeah. So how long would it take us to get anywhere meaningful?
Like, probably the same amount of time it takes in Star Trek. If you have
I will go
1, 2, 3, 4,
tomorrow.
5, 6,
I'm
7,
down.
8.
Oh my god, is the
Yeah.
warp bubble directly connected to having shields to be able to move at warp? Because if you think about it in actual canon, Cochrane didn't have shields.
Yeah.
Shields are down when you're at warp, though.
Shields are a different thing because the shields, if I recall, are based on a projected ionization field. And the deflector is then based on a more intensified version of that.
Am I right about the shields being down when you're at warp? I think I am.
They are, because the warp field means that you essentially pass through anything.
Yeah.
They're incorrect in one thing. They say you can't turn. You would be.
Well,
able
they also
to
say
turn
if you
at
break
Echo
warp 10, you become a lizard.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and become.
that
everywhere
episode
at once.
does not fucking exist. By the way.
Fuck that. The
Don't look it up. It's not called
arachnid,
Timeless, I believe.
Barclay one is just no.
So bad. Okay, so
yeah,
all right, let's
someone's
get back
working
to
on
Star
it.
Trek here
That
because
is Star Trek. That's
I know this is real life Star Trek. Believe me, I'm beyond excited, but we do have kind of some canon to get through.
It is true.
I'd like to take a moment to ask favorite Star Trek series.
Let's see. Favorite Star Treks. That is a complex question because I have a constant
This
rotation
is a complex
of them on.
show.
It is. It truly is. I have a constant rotation of them on.
Oh,
And
same.
What is your
but
knee-jerk
what is your
reaction?
favorite?
What do you go to when you're just like, I just want to watch some, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna love it? No judging, just which like.
Oh no! The problem isn't like judging. The problem is actually making that decision, because
Oh, Equivocator. What's your favorite show?
I have to go to TNG. I have to go to
And,
TNG,
yeah.
like not late, not early, like right in the middle when all characters were kind of gelling, and after Yar. I'm sorry, after Yar.
yeah, she's kind of disruptive.
Are you mostly like? I feel like you're mostly because the character, the ensemble cast they are a really gelled cast at that point.
But there's also guests. There's a lot of guest star, but like main cast.
See,
like-
I find TNG a little episode of the week for me. That's why DS9 is my favorite by far.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. But if we can be specific, Mid-Dominion War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When that
Right up
shit's just
through
going.
much more rewarding ending than like Voyager or TNG.
Yes, even though you end up losing the main character in a way that's just like, okay, so
That's
there'll be a
fine
sequel,
because
yes.
the final season in book form wraps it
Yeah.
up quite nicely, and Avery Brooks doesn't end up abandoning his family as a black man like he didn't want his character to.
Which, yeah, I understand he was quite pissed about that.
Captain of the Serious Squad, that guy, when it comes to acting.
Oh my
Holy
God.
hell.
He
Like the no
is
fun set, it
intense.
seems like.
Have you
but
ever
it
seen The
worked.
Captains?
Yeah.
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 Everyone on that is having the greatest time of their life,
Except
and then you
for-
come across
yeah.
Avery Brooks, and it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you are not happy about things.
Nope, and yet his show is my favorite by far.
Yeah, he's so intense, and that's
It's so
why he was
great.
great. But apparently you can't talk to him.
I love that it was just... It's one of the things I love about the new Star Trek so much is all the humans were just a little more human because they
Yeah.
were interacting with like Quark and being commercial in a bit that we understood. and just having a bit of baser impulses, that it was fine because they were always kind of stuck in the same place. And also, just a bunch of fucking aliens and an alien culture we could just immerse ourselves in and understand and, like, get the perimeter of. So much more fun.
Yeah.
So much more fun.
Everybody
I love it.
was
Voyager could have been the best, but instead it just blanded itself out and let DS9 end up being the best by far.
I do wish there was one explanation that we never got, and it's how the credit system works for being a Federation citizen or Starfleet officer.
That got so many weird mentions, and then it's like, no,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. It should just be nothing.
Do you get an allowance that you're like, oh, it's fun money?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't need this because I'm a Federation citizen and I
everything's
get
free
literally
in the
everything I want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down to the bar and you're going to lose your mind because I'm going to lose all this money.
See, the way I got it, though, was like, it's spendable within the Federation, so, like, not at Quarks.
Yeah.
And within the Federation, it's based on what you contribute to the society. So if you sit on your fucking ass at home watching Star Trek reruns, you get no credits. Or no, you get, like, a base allowance, basic income amount of credits.
Yeah, you get
to survive. You get survivability. You can replicate the meals you need and the clothes you need and the soap you need and have the housing you need because the Federation is decent in that way.
Well,
but if you do anything more, you get credits and you can I can hang some art on my wall. I can go have a haircut. I can eventually buy a car.
Okay,
I can eventually buy
is
a
that not
moon.
capitalism?
Like
Social
Cousin Gayla.
question.
Is that not capitalism?
Of course it's capitalism. Everything will always be capitalism. We're humans. We have base impulses. And you have to track it somehow.
What about a
No,
social...
because it's not based on greed. Because you don't get paid random amounts. You actually have to accomplish things.
No, he specifically said...
If you're just an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur who does nothing but trade business for business and bank income for bank income...
See, I think within the Federation there actually is no money, but with other species they have to contribute it. So there is kind of like an understanding in which they're actually reaching into a common pot.
Here's the way I see it. If you are a baker and you start a bakery, you get a certain number of credits for your baked goods and a certain number of credits for being a baker and a certain number of credits for basic income.
Yeah.
Baking income, if we'll keep the metaphor going. If you own a chain of bakeries...
Yeah.
And you don't do anything more at any of those bakeries other than own them, you get no fucking anything from owning those bakeries. The bakers who bake in those bakeries get the same amount of shit you do because that's how the Federation works and nobody cares that you own 6 bakeries and you sit in an office. If you sit in an office and you also do the accounting for 6 bakeries, then you get the accountant's wages in credits for doing the accounting for 6 fucking bakeries. Even though you own them, you don't get fucking shit.
But would that only... we never see them go into a Federation store, but we see them go into alien stores.
That's going to be a great soundbite if I ever own 6 bakeries.
There you go. 6 bakeries.
That's going to be my commercial.
Hashtag 6 bakeries.
That's going to be my commercial, and then I'm going to be like, I paid myself an accountant's wages this year. Everyone else got a ton of money baking muffins. Come and eat them. They're delicious and cheap.
Ta-da! But yeah,
It's the Federation Bakery chain. It's a great thing.
It's one of those unexplored things that is kind of like I kind of hope that Discovery goes into.
Discovery
'cause
seems
it's
so
at
much
least
more
more
real and
realistic.
approachable. It's going to
Yeah.
have to address commerce and living standards somehow.
'Cause
They've
there
addressed a
has to be
lot
an
of other things.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Drug use, swearing, sexuality, a lot of fun stuff.
They've made it far more human. And
Yes, that's what I love about it.
Really
They
nice.
have less humans. They have fewer humans on the crew.
Yeah.
But it's a much more human show. It's the balance we want a modern Star Trek to be.
And Enterprise had a bunch of humans on it, and they're not supposed to be too far off, but they're so
terrible and wooden.
Yeah, they were so fictional.
It was
The
supposed
Mirror
to be the
Universe was
original
the only
series.
thing
Yes, it
approachable about
was.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. The Mirror Universe episodes were the only approachable ones. And that's terrible because they were being bad.
I feel like there
No,
were
some of the time
concepts.
travel
So it
ones
was
with
fun.
T'Pol going back into the 60s.
Carbon Creek was great.
Carbon
There's a
Creek
couple
was
of
great,
really
yeah.
good Vulcan episodes that you
The
look and
Vulcan
you're just
trilogy was great. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, there's some...
you're right.
I did kind of like the Andorians. Oh no, I like Shran.
Tran's great because he's what's his name? He's Wayoon.
Yeah, he's
Jeffrey
Wayoon.
Combs.
He's Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs.
Wayoon, he's so great.
He's also my Star Trek Rob Lowe.
He's
Yes,
definitely in
yes.
at least a third role.
Until
at least.
Rob Lowe appeared on Seth MacFarlane's
Um,
Star Trek show.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the blue guy.
Yeah, and he was responsible for everything that went wrong in their lives.
That's a fantastic show, and I'm glad it's getting a reference on the Star Trek show, because it should, because it takes every aesthetic from it beautifully.
And connection to DS9.
It has Cassidy Yates. It has Penny Gerald Johnson. Oh man, if I got that right first time,
I think so.
That's like I can't say her name, but like, you know, it's you don't always remember it, but you love her. Can't say it yet.
I think they're almost done filming their second season, and apparently within that universe, Star Trek is a thing.
I would hope so, because everything else is.
So,
they make casual pop culture references.
But like their culture is intentionally based. They got to a point where they're like,
let's
hey,
be
you
Star
know what's
Trek
a good
now.
idea?
This is all I want.
Yeah.
Oh, the Orville is actually probably my idea.
Orville, yeah, thank you, yeah. Yeah, because it's the far more realistic one of like, listen, we're trying, but we're also still kind of
Everyone's
assholes.
silly. They want their giant pops on the bridge. Like, we get it. Like, no one's that evolved.
We're gonna sing karaoke. It's gonna be terrible.
We don't approve of augmented humans, but we're all weirdly evolved and not fun and way too overachievy. Man, so many bad characters.
They're true.
Harry Kim?
Yeah.
Harry Kim.
Oh, Harry.
You have Garrett Wang, who has the funniest name in television and happens to be just, like, actually fun to watch.
He's a really nice guy.
And you give him nothing.
Every year
you just punish him and keep him an ensign.
Yeah. Every year during HalCon, he comes here and he performs with the symphony.
What? Playing clarinet?
I think playing clarinet
That's
and just
amazing.
being generally like funny and hosting a night of like Star Trek music.
I've seen him like Instagram Nova Scotia before.
Yeah,
like,
he loves the fucking place, and
That's
apparently
great.
he's amazing. But yeah, he's wasted.
They just punished the fuck out of him the whole series, and I've heard like writers didn't like him for some reason, so they punished Harry Kim. But by the end, it's like it's a disservice to the viewers because you get Ensign Harry Kim for 7 years in the Delta Quadrant.
He had no growth.
No, none.
He goes in Harry Kim. He
comes out Harry Kim. Yeah.
But with friend Tom Paris.
Yeah, he comes out with the horrible episode The Nightingale, which is borderline unwatchable.
God,
I don't
forget that.
I don't watch that, and I don't watch the episode that doesn't exist. It's just like I don't watch that one in TNG where Beverly Crusher can't date a woman.
Yeah. There are some really bad ones, and then you end up with the one with Michael Ironsides crushing the universe. No, not Michael Ironsides. The dad from that '70s show, crushing time repeatedly.
Are you talking Year of Hell?
Year of Hell.
Yeah,
that's great. That's
Year of Hell is great.
That is awesome. That's actually some of... Okay. Oh. I love Hate Voyager.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the way it turned out. The last episode is like the definition of no fan service.
I do and do not love that episode.
It's a toilet flush to the Star Trek.
I hate it. Yeah.
Universe.
No fan service.
Somebody just went, okay, we got to finish this. And I didn't like that.
There's so many wasted episodes in season 7 too. Like, why didn't you go back?
Sorry, I got choked up there. I
skipped the one where Chakotay and Seven get trapped on a planet. Like, no, you didn't even have character development in that. And then in the last episode, you're like, you're dating now.
It was just like I think actually they mentioned they intended on seeding that for a later season, and they had shot it previously in the season. And due to whatever, it got pushed back in the actual broadcast. Yeah. And so by the time it arrives, it doesn't make sense. And it's referring to a relationship that they would have had if it continued. Yeah. And
it would have made more sense when Seven had her hologram experience.
Yeah, they skipped past that into natural law on the planet with no reference to that.
Yeah.
And then back to that. It's ridiculous. So, okay, so Voyager has a lot of weaknesses, like a ton.
Yeah.
They are not the opener. Voyager is this fucking strong as shit opener.
It's true.
It's so interesting and fun. I love it. Workforce.
Yes.
Do you remember those 2 episodes?
I want to say
two-part series.
It's where the whole crew
is
they're kidnapped and like brainwashed to work on a planet that has a labor shortage.
I think so.
It's so fun. 7 of 9 gets to be like German efficiency Annika Hansen for a while. Like it's really, really good. It's some of Voyager at its best. That and Year of Hell is
fantastic.
Well.
And it also has Red from that 70s.
Oh man, he's been in a few different Star Treks, and he's great. He was a Klingon at some point, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was the Federation president.
And there was the other character in the Year of Hell episode. He was in like 3 other shows.
In Year of Hell?
The second officer on the time ship.
I don't remember what else he was.
You looked him up, and he was in like 3 other shows.
No, that was Red. He was the Federation president, and he was a Klingon too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember who the second officer was.
And he shot RoboCop in the face.
What?
He's the villain in the first RoboCop. He's the guy who makes RoboCop.
There's a future diversion for sure. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, he's epic. But also the one where George Costanza comes and fucks with him.
The think tank. We just watched that. They have the best throwaway line ever. They're like, we cured the Vidian phage. They're like, what?
Yeah, it's like we ended your plot line. That was
that's
bullshit.
An entire fascinating culture that makes no sense, but is still fascinating from like 2 seasons, like early.
The phage was like 2,000 years old.
That made no fucking sense. 2,000 years old.
Yeah, how are you not all dead?
That made no fucking sense.
Are you not extinct?
If they had been like the phage is 20 years old, it would have been like, that makes sense, and the fact that you're still cannibalizing the species around you and they haven't all murdered you in response yet makes sense, because it's been 20 years and you were more advanced. But 2,000 years, it's like, that's idiotic. The people who write numbers in Star Trek, especially Voyager...
Sometimes it gets silly as fuck.
Oh, it makes no sense at all.
But if you're spacefaring people, it actually, like, the product that the phage would produce is you need a resource of people.
You would atrophy, sure, but like 2,000 years, the species around you would advance and overcome you and kill you.
You don't know that, and I've said
this
many times. The Star Trek universe puts you in a position that makes you question everything about your choices.
Oh, creepy. They would have like farm planets around them, like Oregon farm planets.
Oh, yeah.
We probably just didn't see those.
Yeah, exactly. The parts that they wouldn't
You're
show.
only seeing the edges. You're only seeing one ship running through it.
That's awesome.
Well, like, originally, Richard Dean Anderson wanted it to be far more like, Battlestar Galactica, of course, in which...
Wait a minute. Richard Dean Anderson.
No, not Richard Dean. Oh, my God.
Ronald D. Moore?
Thank you, Ronald D. Moore. What?
I was like, what did MacGyver want it to be? You tell me.
Anyway, he wanted it to be far more like Battlestar Galactica, in which they would run out of resources.
That would make sense.
Ship would break down. By the end of the series, that motherfucking ship should be limping.
Yeah, they should jettison it into the sun because it's about to be toxic waste hazard because the warp core is about to be fused to everything.
Like, it shouldn't have returned by its own merits. It should have been like slingshotted through a fucking warp reactor
Okay.
Yeah, wormhole.
Dumbest thing about Voyager that takes us nicely into memory beta territory.
Ooh, yes.
Janeway picks constant fights with the Borg, uses them to get home while destroying their Unimatrix right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And any remnant is going to immediately decide, the Federation has spat in our face and shat on us and almost genocided us. Of course we have to build up and destroy them immediately. Yeah. And that's what eventually happens in the books. And it costs I think it's 69 billion lives. Not Earth, of course.
Yeah, no, never Earth.
No, and then the Borg are eventually defeated, spoiler alert, permanently.
Yeah.
But, it's all because Janeway pissed them off so many times. They give the best message ever in the books. They come to the Federation, destroy a couple planets, and then beam out a message that says something to the effect of, we're the Borg. Your technological and biological distinctiveness are irrelevant. Ooh. You will be annihilated. Resistance is futile, but welcome.
Oh,
and it's just fuck, shit, oh god, they're not even here to assimilate me, they're just here to butcher everything in the Alpha Quadrant forever and a day. And they do. They sack Kronos, for Christ's sake. They're all over the map. Everything gets destroyed, but humanity is still kind of okay at the center, despite Janeway sitting there where was she from? Iowa? Indiana? Indiana. Janeway's sitting in Indiana on her tractor.
Which universe was this in?
This is in the prime, this is in memory beta territory, so it's not canon.
So which authors?
This was the Voyager relaunch with, oh god, I want to say Rebecca somebody, but it's the main Voyager relaunch.
Because I'm going here. I'm going there. In the Shatnerverse.
Oh god.
When Kirk is killed on that stupid planet by what's his name from A Clockwork Orange?
Oh, Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah. Romulan Borgs come and kidnap him and turn him into a Borg and use him to invade the Alpha Quadrant through time. And it is a piece of shit.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah. It is horrible.
So I think the
fan
Borg...
fiction that I would love to see is where Voyager stops at DS9 before getting sucked to the...
They did that, though. They
to
were
that?
that.
I would know, but a split from that story would be Keiko being taken onto Voyager and being tossed out there and having to become the doctor of the Voyager ship only through plants because that's what she knows.
Yeah, and discovering the entire Delta Quadrant and all that. Like, it kind of gives it a Master and Commander vibe of, like, her and the captain exploring the unknown.
Yeah, and it's like, Keiko would have to help people, which she's done through teaching and through plants. And it would be, like, I think the perfect, like, challenge to...
Keiko has a thing. She goes to Cardassia with O'Brien, and she rebuilds Cardassia's biosphere while he works on their infrastructure.
She's super fucking
it's perfect for
she's
that.
Done shit.
It's perfect. She's I've worked on Bajor. You remember Bajor? If you heard of Bajor, we've gotten a lot of experience on Bajor. I'll help you rebuild your infrastructure.
You remember when you didn't want to come to Bajor?
Spoony faces.
I don't want to leave the Enterprise.
The books are great. Some of them.
Some of them are fantastic.
Andrew Robinson's one book is particularly
Random
fantastic.
question of the Star Trek universe. Ensign Rowe.
Yeah.
Oh, she becomes
Is she gone?
She becomes the second in command of Deep Space Nine under Kira.
Ah.
Yeah.
So Kira's like the Federation officer, like in charge. She's the new Cisco. And yeah, Ro goes back to Starfleet and becomes.
So how did she survive not being slaughtered in Maquis?
I don't remember, but there's a thing.
They all surrendered when the leader was tricked into surrendering.
Oh, Captain McNo Charisma, who they panned off as Canadian to make him even more irritating somehow.
Yeah, Buddy Mick one season.
Oh, he's so bad.
Oatmeal like pasty.
My lucky loony. Shut up! I hate you.
Oh my god, you're so fucking annoying.
Worst character. I'm obsessed with Les Miserables. Okay, Javert. Nobody gets your reference. Everyone hates you.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And yeah, he thinks he's.
Cisco's gonna poison a planet for you, and we're gonna agree with him.
Yeah.
And we're gonna tell him to threaten more planets, and he's gonna do that, and we're gonna agree with him as we yell at the TV because we hate you so much.
And I never really got his point. It's like the writers never actually read the fucking book. Like, Screaming Javert, what?
I don't know. Just
what?
No.
You're not an innocent man. You're a fucking terrorist.
I like that DS9 was, they didn't toe any line with terrorism for a long time. They were like both sides of the issue, and I was like, that would not fly now at all. That's great. No, it was a serious thing. The occupation novels are good too. There's 3.
I bet those are good. Yeah, I could see those being really enjoyable.
They're very fun.
I do wish that they did more flashbacks to that. I would have wanted to see some, like, Kira fucking shit up.
The Stitch in Time, Andrew Robinson's is the best. And then, I would say those, like, they're pretty good.
Speaking of, like, offshoot stuff, every now and then I go back, I have an account on Star Trek Online. It's an MMO.
Okay, I don't have one. Yeah, no, I know.
So good. I've reached, I have 4 characters, 2 of them are at the highest level.
Okay, is it that fun? Do I need this?
Yes, it's fun. But the control scheme's kind of old, so it's like somewhat tedious. But you get to choose, or one, you can design your uniform out of whatever the fuck you want. Mm-hmm. Granted, if you pay money, you get more options. Mm-hmm. But any option from Star Trek ever, you can be.
Nice.
Any ship from Star Trek ever, you can be. Granted, with money, you can do more. Mm-hmm. And you get to go about an enormous galaxy made of all the quadrants and do missions everywhere.
I want to do this immediately. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by apparently our Plug This Game, because I've heard of it but never played it, and That sounds fun.
It incorporates the J.J. Abrams universe, but it takes place in the TNG universe. So Romulus isn't there. There's a new Romulus. The Phobos star exploded like in the J.J. Abrams film and killed Romulus, but now there's a new Romulus.
Where is Vulcan?
Vulcan still exists because Vulcan was only destroyed in the Abrams universe.
But I thought you just said it had...
No. It incorporates that in the sense that this is the universe that Spock exited.
Okay, but it's... Okay.
Yeah. The result is that Romulus
No, that's
was
in the
destroyed.
same kind of non-canon stuff I was talking about too. Like, Romulus gets...
Connected, but it
Romulus
changes.
splits into two empires somehow. Like, there's a whole
Romulus
big thing.
and Remus.
Then there's, like, the Typhon Pact, which is, like, 6 anti-Federation alliances.
You're
that come
starting
out,
to get into, like, late Star Wars novels on
It's
that one.
awesome and ridiculous. It's fun.
Wrong invade to
No.
and they drop a moon on Chewbacca.
No, see, this is what's nice, is it's all the same species you've always heard about, like the Breen and everyone else, and, like, the Romulans, and, half those people.
I really want Star Trek to
Like, hey, the
tackle
Federation's
something very
really weak.
different, though.
No, but seriously, like, the Federation gets smacked by the Dominion and then the Borg. Like, we talked about this the other day. Why wouldn't everybody come on in and pick their carcass?
There definitely should have been a shift towards even more overt, like, militarism in response to that.
Well, they did that a bit in DS9.
Well, I mean, like,
Like, oh, yeah, because they got weakened so much.
Yeah, well, like, here in 30 years, we went from, cops with 6-shooters to full-on SWAT response with,
God, didn't New Glasgow get, like,
APCs.
tanks or something, for Christ's sakes? Like,
like, the Federation should probably,
Their ships got smaller and stronger.
Yeah, Defiant's a thing.
Yeah,
That's true, they
they
militarized
canceled
that way.
the Defiant after 2 years of the program for no reason. The Defiant was like a prototype.
See, that's the thing, is they eventually should have gotten picked over because they got so weakened. Like,
Yeah.
they O'Briened the Federation a little too much. They were like, everybody loves it, so we're just going to punish it.
And I don't know how the hell they're supposed to reach the 29th century at that point.
Oh, the 29th century looks great.
Yeah, I actually, that's what I want to see.
Time ships?
I want to see a time ship episode.
Yeah.
And the DC Legends of Tomorrow proves that you can do a fucking ridiculous time ship episode show. If you just slap Star Trek and a bit of seriousness over that, fine. It doesn't have to be as good as Discovery.
Which is fucking great.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out that this whole Star Trek episode, we've just mentioned Discovery a handful of times to say how great it is.
Yeah.
We've said barely anything about the original series.
Because,
nothing about the movies.
No.
We haven't referenced the animated series because there's no point.
Yeah.
Enterprise doesn't apparently exist in this narrative.
Well, because it's been a long road.
TNG has even gotten a minority report.
Yeah.
And we've got mainly Voyager and Deep Space Nine. And you know what? I'm so thrilled with that. I would like to exclaim that I'm just sad that Margot Martindale never guest starred on Star Trek, to my knowledge. Would anyone like to...
I think that
Are you
is
sure of
accurate.
that?
You can look it up if you want, but I think you know the rule about mentioning beloved character actress Margot Martindale.
Yeah, I believe it ends it.
That is the way that goes. Well, thank you for joining us. This has been Won't You Please Shut Up. I've been Michaela Gorman.
I'm Ensign Harry Kim.
And Mr. Brent Robertson.
Red shirts everywhere.
Pew!
Pew 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 pew. Ah!